Denton County voters can expect free bus rides from DCTA over the next few weeks. Quarantine allowed a UNT student to start his own baking business. We'll tell you more.
Broadcast.
Hey everyone, we are here at the North Fair, Texas Rodeo.
And we'll tell you all about it later on in the broadcast.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV Nightly News.
Thanks for joining us on ntTV Nightly News. I'm Edison Mesa.
And I'm Michaela Goose. With the country just days away from the 2020 election, Texans are showing up and smashing records with both mail-in ballots and in-person voting. Kayla Holt has more with the story.
Thanks, Michaela. Denton County is leading the way in Texas with record-breaking numbers of early voters. Well over 225,000 voters have already cast their ballot in this election. That's nearly 40% of the number of registered voters in the county. In addition to the early voters at the polls, Denton County is looking at a record number of mail-in ballots. So far, well over 220,000 mail-in ballots have been received, nearly double the rate back in 2016. The increase in this form of voting is certainly due in large part to the coronavirus. The same issue has caused a record mail-in ballot count on the national level. The U.S. Postal Service has sent out 100 million ballots since early September. With people still showing up to vote and mail-in ballots still coming in, we have a long 12 days ahead of us before November 3rd. For ntTV News, I'm Kayla Holt. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Kayla. In an effort to help voters get to the polls, Denton County is stepping up. The County Transportation Authority is offering free bus rides to voters this Saturday, October 24th, and on November 3rd, Election Day. DCTA Communications Coordinator Kayla Laird says this is an important service for our citizens.
It as easy as possible for riders to be able to get to the polls and vote. We did the same promotion back in 2018 for the 2018 election.
And a historic change, Time replaces its classic logo with the word vote on its cover. This marks the first time in the magazine's almost 100-year history that the word Time will not appear on its cover. The November 2nd issue will feature articles and editorials about the election and the impact it will have on the future. Time CEO and editor-in-chief Edward Filicental explained in an article that voters face a decision as consequential as any ever made at the ballot box and calls voting this year imperative. The magazine is also including a guide on how to safely vote in a year dominated by COVID-19.
Edison, I know how much you enjoy the cool weather, so I think you're going to be excited for this weekend's temperatures.
That is right, Michaela. I will take cool weather over Texas heat anytime. Let's go over to our weather anchor, Jordan Miller, to take a first look at the weather.
Hey guys, we are here right now at the North Texas Fair and Rodeo, and it is such a beautiful day for a fair, let me tell you that. Right now here in Denton, we've got 84 degrees outside, feeling a little bit warmer at 86 if you are standing in the sun, but we've got a really nice breeze of 17 miles per hour and some clouds coming over so that you can stand in the shade. Now moving into tonight though, we're gonna get down into the mid 70s with that wind slowing down a little bit to 11 miles per hour and clear skies here at the fair for the rest of the night. Now tomorrow we're gonna get a really cold front in with 70 being our high and 42 being our low for the day, 20 miles per hour and scattered thunderstorms in the morning continuing through about noon. Now, if you want to head out to the fair and join me here, I'll tell you later about what the rest of the week is going to look like. For now, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Jordan. It looks like we have great weather for the rodeo. After a fiery clash in their first debate, President Trump and Democratic nominee Joe Biden will share the stage one final time before the November 3rd election. Here we have a live look at where both candidates will face off at 8 p.m. tonight. The second debate was supposed to take place on October 15th, but complications started after President Trump contracted coronavirus, as well as issues agreeing to a debate on the debate rules. With the president now testing negative, we will get the chance to see one last debate before this election comes to an end. But there is another issue facing voters besides making a decision at the ballot box: potential voter intimidation. Google says Iran has targeted U.S. voters through their Gmail as a part of an Iranian campaign in efforts to influence the presidential election. They say that 25,000 emails were sent posing as the far-right group The Proud Boys and sending threatening emails. According to the tech giant, 90% of the emails were blocked by spam filters. Google now says that they are working with the FBI as an investigation into the issue.
The United States Supreme Court is one step closer to filling its vacancy. The nomination of Judge Amy Coney Barrett has been approved by the Senate Judiciary Committee, and it's on its way to the full Senate. Democrats boycotted the committee vote in protest of the GOP's rush to put president nominee on the high court and before the election. It was foregone conclusion that Coney Barrett would be approved for a final vote since the Senate is controlled by the Republicans. Dr. Matthews Basoja says it is all followed by party lines.
The president's party, the Senate's party, and the ideology of the nominee. And since President Trump is Republican and conservative, the Senate is controlled by Republicans and is conservative. The appointment of a conservative judge was expected, and the confirmation seemed highly likely, and indeed it's progressing in that direction.
The Senate has never confirmed a Supreme Court justice this close to an election. The GOP leadership has called an unusual weekend session to ensure a vote on this confirmation on Monday.
COVID-19 cases are increasing, and doctors say this fall and winter will likely be the worst surge yet in the U.S. Just yesterday, the U.S. recorded its highest daily death toll since September 23rd. Camila Bernal has the latest on the race for the vaccine.
COVID-19 cases, hospitalizations, and deaths, all showing concerning trends across the country.
When we look at the numbers that we have now, we don't just have one or two hotspots. We actually have virus hotspots surging all across the country.
But as the numbers are increasing, the race for the vaccine continues.
We are on the path towards having, I believe, a very good likelihood within the next couple of months of having at least one vaccine directed against SARS-CoV-2 that will be found to be safe and effective in phase 3 trials of tens of thousands of individuals.
U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar says a vaccine could be available to all Americans by the end of March or early April. Vulnerable people, including seniors, could get access to the vaccine sooner. In the meantime, doctors say people need to continue being cautious in order to lower the number of cases.
We know what we need to do to stop the transmission of this virus. It is distancing and masking.
Because not doing this could lead to even higher case numbers than already predicted.
Things will get better next year after vaccines become available, but for now, the next 4 and 5 months are looking pretty dire, and I'm really worried about both the number of new cases and deaths and long-haul permanent injuries really going up.
I'm Camila Bernal reporting.
Denton County today announced 100 new active cases of the illness and 117 recovered cases. Now, what worries officials is the rate of hospitalization. It is trending up from 11.5% yesterday to 11.7% today. Governor Greg Abbott has placed a 15% hospitalization rate as the breaking point for closing bars. But it is not just the coronavirus that is a threat, so is the flu. Here on the UNT campus, health officials continue to push testing for students, staff, and faculty. Today, another round of flu shots and testing took place at 2 campus locations, Maple and Joe Green Hall. Assistant Director of Wellness Center, Carrie Stanhope, explains that the importance of speeding testing.
So in a pandemic like what we're experiencing right now with COVID-19, it's really critical to make sure that we're getting timely test results. So the fact that we can run those tests from the Student Health and Wellness Center and basically get results back by the end of the same day allows us to have quicker information, allows us to notify patients a lot quicker if they are positive, and we can start the contact tracing process and hopefully get them isolated and quarantined before too many folks are exposed.
UNT is currently testing over 250 people per week, one of the best rates of schools in our area.
And while UNT is doing its best to keep COVID numbers down, the Denton County public health officials are asking residents to protect themselves from mosquito bites. DCPH has reported the 6th human case of West Nile virus in Denton County this year. The community members resides in Carrollton. For steps on how to minimize the risk of contracting the virus, visit www.dentoncounty.gov/WNV.
When we come back, if you are feeling this semester, you are not alone. Gen Z is leading the pack and we'll tell you how.
But for those of us feeling overwhelmed, we do have some good news. The rodeo is back in town to bring us some joy. Stay with us.
My Shiro stretch.
Welcome back. If you're looking for something to do this weekend, head out to the North Texas Fair and Rodeo here in Denton.
I was thinking about going there myself. Our reporter Nathan Mayer is out there now to tell us a little bit about the Fair and Rodeo. Nathan?
Thanks, guys. Out here at the Texas Fair and Rodeo, you can tell that the atmosphere is electric, and there's plenty of reasons why. I'm here with Glenn Carlton. He was helping put on the North Texas Fair and Rodeo this year, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the safety precautions that they thought about for COVID reasons and why the state fair is going on now. So, Glenn, what are some of the precautions that you guys put in place?
Well, one of the things, the major thing we did was we added a big video board in our social distancing area, where if you don't get here in time to go to the rodeo, because we mandate the rodeo at 50%, that's an executive order from Governor Abbott. So only 2,000 fans can go in there this year. Normally it's 4,000. And the concert areas, they're also regulated the number of people in front of the stages. So we added that screen to where people can bring lawn chairs and blankets and enjoy that area. In addition, we put out 100 hand sanitizers, free hand sanitizers, freestanding. Safety Clean of Denton is coming in every morning, and they're fumigating our bleachers, all the high touch areas, all the restrooms are getting sanitized daily, and just a lot of signage reminding people to social distance.
What would you say that's something that's so great about holding the fair here in Denton?
Well, it's Denton's fair. I mean, there's almost 1,000 volunteers out here working this fair that are members of this community, that live and work in this community. So. And
what's something that you're looking forward to that the fair's still holding coming up this weekend?
We still the weekend more than anything else, you know. So we're still got 3 days.
All right. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Nathan. If you're between 18 and 23, listen up. With the rise of COVID-19 and the switch to online schooling, Gen Z is reporting the highest stress levels of any generation in the country. A recent national poll shows Gen Z adults scored more than 6 out of 10 on the stress scale. The average American adult came in at 5. Almost 87% of the Gen Z adults polled say that their college education were a big point of the stress in their lives. They also reported depression and just plain unhappiness in the past 2 weeks. And for those of us needing a break in the North Texas area, we have the Road Tripscape just for you. Naomi?
Okay,
road trip.
Well, Edison, if variety is something you're looking for here in the North Texas area, here I have an area to show you that brings about a calm and peaceful feeling. Let's take a look. Located in downtown, the Fort Worth Water Gardens are a perfect mix of nature and water, creating a unique oasis experience. Built in 1974 right beside the Fort Worth Convention Center, the Water Gardens are an architectural and engineering marvel to anyone who steps foot within. This 4.3-acre site was originally designed by New York architects Philip Johnson and John Berge, resulting in the creation of an urban park often referenced as a cooling oasis in a concrete jungle. Throughout the course of this attraction, visitors can choose from a variety of water features, from a quiet blue mediation pool encircled by cypress trees with a towering water cascade to steep layers of concrete known as the mountains. Visitors can also relax in an aerating pool, triggering the soft sounds of water using spray fountains that light and change colors in the nighttime. The show stealer of this attraction, though, has got to be the 38-foot pool surrounded by cascading waters along the terrace and steps leading towards the bottom of the pool. This feature of the water gardens is so majestic that it even made the cut in the 1976 film Logan's Run, where the pool is featured for a scene with Logan's journey in the movie.
The ocean tides are turned into energy somehow.
With so much to see, we had to ask visitors what their impressions of the famous Fort Worth water gardens were. These were their responses.
So far, it's really beautiful. The water, it's really calming. It's nice to look at. I'm enjoying it so far. And it's kind of like a nice way to go out, kind of like free your mind a little bit and just talk. So I really like it so far.
This is my first time out here. I haven't been out here before, so it's really calm, collective. It's a really peaceful area. It's so pretty, actually. I definitely will be coming back out here to have some time alone to myself.
As we can see, the Fort Worth Water Gardens is bound to impress. Open to the public, this area offers a relaxing and refreshing environment to those who visit. Now, let me just say, one of the things that's making my experience even more refreshing is the beautiful warm weather. Jordan, what can you tell us on this upcoming week's weather?
Thanks, Nomi. Here in North Texas and Denton, we're getting really good weather here at the fair, but let me go ahead and tell you what the rest of North Texas looks like right now. And pretty much everywhere is getting those temperatures in the low to mid 80s, just a tad warmer in Graham with 87, and a tad colder in Sherman with 82, McKinney at 82 as well. But here is not the only place in Texas we're getting good weather. Across the state of Texas, everywhere is experiencing those 80-degree temperatures. A little bit warmer in Austin at 89 and Amarillo at 87, but really good weather there. Now, even though today it's warm, we're going to get hit with 2 cold fronts this week as I go ahead and look at our 7-day forecast. Tomorrow, that first cold front is coming in with a high of 70, low of 42, 60% chance of rain, and the rest of the weekend is going to be just as cool with Saturday partly cloudy skies, high of 64, low of 52. Those clouds carrying into Sunday, getting a little bit warmer with a high of 77. And then on Monday, that second cold front is going to hit with 50% chance of thunderstorms, high of 59, low of 37, getting even colder on Tuesday with a 50% chance of rain and a high of 45 and a low of 38. Going to warm up a little bit through the rest of the week with a high of 53 on Wednesday and no rain on Thursday, only just a 20% chance and partly cloudy skies. Now that's all I have for weather. I'm going to stay here and enjoy the fair. Back to you guys in the studio.
The homecoming bonfire has been officially canceled, along with other notable homecoming traditions due to COVID-19. Another tradition up in flames due to COVID-19, the homecoming bonfire. The Talon-built bonfire was officially canceled October 21st.
It definitely sucks just knowing for so long that it wasn't going to happen. It was a tough thing for us to understand, but I mean, it is what it is, and we totally understand. It wouldn't be safe for us to try and have one and have thousands of people come out there and watch. So it's probably best that we don't have it this year.
However, homecoming has not completely gone up in smoke. Andrea Jackson says one of the best aspects of homecoming will still be around.
One of the staples that we have during homecoming is doing community service, and we're still going to be doing that this year. So we'll have 3 different events. One is going to be making cards for kids that are at Cook Children's Hospital.
Another event will be a donation drive for Zoe's Place, which helps foster children who have aged out of the system. They will also be hosting virtual events, but students can't help but feel bummed out about their beloved bonfire tradition.
As of right now, we're all just trying to find ways that we can, still stay spirited during this.
For more information on Homecoming 2020 and virtual events, go to studentaffairs.unt.edu. Even with no bonfire or in-person events, you can still enjoy homecoming virtually and head to the stadium to support the Mean Green football team.
While the bonfire may let us in the dark, the rodeo stays to light up our days.
And we have a sweet story waiting for you all after the break.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Quarantine allowed most of us to learn new skills and discover new passions. A UNC student was able to start his own baking business after having plenty of time to perfect his recipes. In De La Vega, junior at the University of North Texas, has been baking since his sophomore year of high school. Early September, he decided to start his own business, Ivan's Cakes and Treats. He makes anything from cheesecakes, custom cakes, cupcakes, cookies, and egg tarts. Ivan also provides vegan options.
This past summer, when COVID started, of course, like everyone else, we all were bored, and I just started up little hobbies, and I started baking a lot more, and it helped me experiment and just like make my desserts and perfect them. So I recently had started experimenting with my vegan options. I found a lot of great recipes. I started making vegan cheesecakes currently.
Ivan says his parents is where he got most of his influence. His mom also enjoys baking, and as a kid, he always watched her process. His parents have been his biggest supporters since he started the business.
My desserts, they're all homemade from, they're all like passed down recipes also from my family that I've perfected down south. So it brings like a little bit of home from like the south up here to me.
With early voting going on, Ivan is giving $2 off to anyone that places an order and shows a picture of their I voted sticker. If you're interested in purchasing one of these treats, follow at Ivan's Cakes and Treats on Instagram. To place an order, simply direct message the account. There is also a delivery option with a delivery fee. I myself tried some of the cheesecakes, and let me tell you, it is a must try.
That sounds really good, Edison. Thinking of some other sweet treats, let's check back in with Nathan at the rodeo. Nathan?
Hey y'all, there are tons of attractions to bring people out, such as country music, carnival rides, and the rodeo. But of course, my favorite is the livestock. Now, not only is there livestock, there's also live music. So tomorrow night on Friday features the Sawyer Brown Band, and Saturday night closes out the fair with Justin Moore taking the stage. Well, I think it's time for me to move on over and grab some cotton candy. Back to you guys in the desk.
Thanks, Nathan. That looks like an absolute blast. I am so glad that live entertainment is slowly coming back, aren't you, Edison?
Me too, Michaela. I'm definitely jealous of everyone getting to go watch the World Series in Arlington. I heard the Rays had a big game there last night. Our sports anchor, Sarah Baskin, has more on that game. Sarah?
The Rays definitely had a big game last night, but it wasn't all bad news for the Dodgers. I'll fill you in on Game 2 after the break. After losing Game 1 of the World Series to the Dodgers, the Tampa Bay Rays took Game 2 last night with a lot of help from their pitching. Rays 2018 Cy Young Award winner Blake Snell flirted with a no-hitter through nearly 5 innings until Dodgers left fielder Chris Taylor hit a two-run home run to conclude Snell's impressive start. While the Rays pitching was a major factor, they couldn't have gotten the win without their bats. Tampa Bay second baseman Brandon Lowe got the bat warmed up in the first inning with a solo home run and hit another 2-run bomb in the 5th inning. LA kept the Rays on their toes with a strong offensive performance from their shortstop Corey Seager, but ultimately fell short. Game 3 will be tomorrow night at Globe Life Field in Arlington. Unfortunately for the Cowboys, the Rays and the Dodgers have been the only winners in Arlington lately. The boys fell to the Cardinals last Sunday in an embarrassing first outing with Andy Dalton under center, but Dalton doesn't deserve all the blame. Star running back Ezekiel Elliott fumbled twice early, and the Cardinals came away with 7 both times. With a 2-4 start, frustrations are starting to leak from inside the Star, with players airing their frustrations with coaching to reporters. The one ray of hope for the Cowboys is the rest of the NFC East, which is historically awful this year. The boys lead the division for now, but the Eagles are only a half game back. The Cowboys play Washington on Sunday, and hopefully a big divisional win will put them back on track. And finally, one team who seems to be getting back on track is the Mean Green. They won big against Middle Tennessee on Saturday, led by quarterback Jason Bean. Bean helped set a UNT school record for total offense in Week 1 and unfortunately hadn't started a full game since. Coincidentally, they also hadn't won a game since. But that offensive record was broken this Saturday by a team once again led by Jason Bean. UNT coaching staff has not said whether or not they'll stick with Bean or go back to Austin Aune, but a CUSA Player of the Week award could push those odds in Bean's favor. The Mean Green have a bye this week, but they'll be at UTEP on Halloween in search of another win. And that's all I have for sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Well, it looks like it's just about time for the bull riding event to start.
Edison and Michaela, we'll be waiting for you to come join us here at the fair.
Nathan and Jordan, that sounds like a lot of fun. Make sure to grab some pictures and also grab a lot of food.
Please do. All 3 of us will have to take a trip to the North Texas Fair and Rodeo before its last day on Sunday.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us on ntTV Nightly News.
Join us again next week here on North Texas Television.